Hi, I'm Gary. We enjoy the benefits of bringing birds into our gardens. They control a lot of insects. This time of the year, I've got a lot of soft fruits ripening. So to protect my grapes, I wrap them in tulle. The orioles and the house finches have a sweet tooth. The orioles are very beneficial. They eat a lot of caterpillars when they're feeding their babies, but they are very destructive on grapes. So what I'm going to do is wrap my grapes with tulle. So what I've done is cut a piece of tulle. It's about 18 inches square. I've already wrapped some of these. I'm just going to wrap this one. I've also cut a small piece of wire. So this is a thin gauge electrical type wire, and that's what I'll use to tie it off. So I'm just going to wrap the grapes, try to ball it up, wrap it around the bottom like so, and at the top I'm just going to pinch it tight and make sure there's no holes, and I'll wrap the wire around and cinch it. So I've cinched that one tight. The grapes will continue to ripen under the tulle. I want to make sure that there's no holes, so every now and then I come back and I inspect it to make sure there's no holes. You want the tulle to be fairly loose, because if the grape is pressed up against the tulle, sometimes a young oriole will come along and try to get it, so you'll have pock marks in your grapes, and that's a sign that a bird's tried to get in. But once they get the idea that they can't get to the fruit, it's a learning experience for them, and generally they don't come back. So I've got a few more bunches to cover. I've got another piece of tulle here. Sometimes to make it easier to get to the grapes, I like to prune the leaves away. That just opens it up a little more, makes it easier to wrap it. Try to make sure that the bottom of the grapes will be in the center of the tulle. So I kind of just bring it up like that. Sometimes I loop it over. And just wrap it around. And with the wire, just cinch it. And tie it off to the stem. So that's going to protect my grapes from the birds. Once the bird puts a hole in one grape, that brings in bees, and it also brings in some of the vinegar flies. Now I've got all my grapes covered. I'm going to go through and I'm going to trim back some of the excess growth. Some of these smaller grapes should have been removed earlier, but I'm not concerned about that. I don't want this to continue growing, so I'm just going to tip prune the growing part off. Then all the energy is going to go into ripening the grapes. So I've got a small bunch of grapes here. It wasn't worth putting tulle around, so I'm just going to cut that off. Some of these will be okay, some of them are underripe, but that'll allow more of the energy to go to my main bunch. This one here is kind of growing in the way, it's not doing much, so I might just trim the tip off that. Same as this one. that one. This one, I might just trim that too. One along here, I just want to make sure I can weave this along and continue it across to maybe the halfway point. So this has got a bunch of grapes growing on it. I might just tip prune that. And another small bunch of grapes here. I'll just remove those. And for now, I think this looks pretty good. Down here, I've got some lower branches that are just going to drag along the ground. So I'm going to cut it off there first. Then I'm going to go back to the main trunk and trim it as close as possible. That should heal over. Got another dead piece there. And just remove some of the dead pieces. This one I'll just take back. It's got a side growth there. I might be able to weave that around. I'll look at that. So what I'm kind of doing is opening it up so it airs out a bit. Some of these lower ones I don't like. This one here, I might trim that back there. So what I'm doing now is basically just shaping it a little bit. So I've got another small very little grapes in that bunch, but that's still worth saving. I'll remove that. At this point, I'm trying to send the energy into the bunches that are already full. A lot of this is just tidying up. I want to keep my grapevine on the arbor. Right now it's growing over my emu bush. I want to take it back so it's not growing over this anymore. We can get that out of the way. So I think that looks pretty good. Along here I've got the same sort of thing going on. Just want to trim that back out a bit. Stuff that's on the ground, I just want to take that off. Take this one off. The main sheet, that's going sideways. There's another long one, I might just take that back. This one's got grapes over here, so I just want to tip that. Just tip prune some of these. I'm going to take this one back a little further too. Got another small bunch of grapes there. These are dragging on the ground, so I want to get those out of the way. So this one's growing along the ground. I want to take that back. And another piece down here. Got some dead pieces. I'm just going to remove those. Maybe take that one back. Got a leaf coming out here. Got some growing below the rootstock. I think that looks pretty good. I've got all my grapes protected now, and I've pruned it back. That'll allow the plant to focus on ripening the fruit, and I've opened it up to allow better airflow. To make it easier to remember the varieties, I made these metal tags. This one's called Black Manuka. I planted several different varieties on my arbor. This year this is the one that did the best. The one I planted down the other end did well last year, but didn't perform as well this year. Now it's just a matter of waiting until all the fruit ripens. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got something out of it, please give it a thumbs up. With that, thanks for watching, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Goodbye.